Alright guys, I keep forgetting to film this stuff, but I guess this is the start of part 2 for the Jeep YJ swap. So, as you can tell, the motor's been painted and put back together. We got a new low pro oil pan on there, and yeah, we got these Novak conversions, YJ to LS motor mounts on both sides. We got a bunch of parts. We got a clutch, we got a flywheel, we got a master cylinder, we got a transmission rebuild kit, which is what I'm working on right now. We pulled the trans out of the Jeep. Got it sitting right here. I'm about to take it apart and rebuild it. Transfer case is there. Yeah. There's the 4-liter in it. But yeah, I took the fenders off just so we can have some easy access. I cut one of the motor mounts out. This one's kind of hard to get to. I got to figure out how to get that steering shaft out so I can cut it cleanly. Yeah, skid plate's off, making tons of room in there. But yeah, let me get back to pulling this trans apart. Probably put you on a time lapse or something so you guys can watch me do that real quick, and then we'll come back once I get it all apart. Alright, so got all these bolts loose. Oh. There we go. There's some separation. Boop. Don't mind my butt. Oh. Look at it. Just the old transmission milk. Hey, leverage. Look at that. Full step is now. Skabloops. Okay, anyways. Okay, I got the cases apart.
Got 2 Justins in here.
These are the gears. They all look pretty good. Except for these ones. Kind of a little bit of wear on the face of each of these. I'm not sure if those marks are supposed to be there, but you know, she's apart. Reverse gear looks good. And yeah. I'm gonna keep on going and get all these gears off this thing. I had to run costless real quick to grab a gear puller so that I can pull this gear off of here. So hopefully it works. Okay, I'm gonna get a socket on there because that's gonna be annoying. There we go. Fuck it, that one's off. And I'm gonna place them anyways. Are you taking my tools again?
What are you looking for?
A 12 mil. I just had it. Another little thing.
You can't find what?
12 millimeter. Where'd you put it?
Oh, what? This one?
Mm-hmm.
Well, that didn't last long. Do you want your other tools now or later? I may or may not have taken your tools.
Sure you did. Alright, got it all back together. I had to go get a new tool to press the bearings off, and a couple of the gears were kind of stuck on there too, so used the press for that, for these bearings. But yeah, you can see brand new bearings, brand new synchros everywhere. Yeah, these are brand new bearings too. This one here, this is the 5th gear, I believe. This one's getting a new synchro as well, but when I was making this workbench, which, yeah, I got a new workbench, I made it. I was moving that around, and then that piece fell off the workbench, and the synchro keys, which are in here, hold on. There's little synchro keys in there that just kind of line everything up, and I lost one of them. So I got one of those coming on the way, and it should be here pretty soon. And I can't really do a whole bunch more without that. I can kind of put these back in the case and probably get the shafts back in and the forks and stuff like that, because that goes on the other side. I believe that goes right here, on the other side of this intermediate plate here. So I'm gonna try and get to doing that, and then yeah, I just gotta wait on that key there, and then we can do a little more. So I guess I can do that now. This guy now. Now I guess we can flip the background. There was this shaft here. This is not what I'm thinking it is. This guy went here or here, here or here. Man, okay, I gotta look all this stuff up real quick. This was the reverse shifter for that. Yep, I gotta look it up because I forgot. So I'm gonna do that. I'll be right back. Okay, I gotta pull this back apart because I have to install it with the input shaft on there, because I can't get it on there now. So gotta pull it back apart. Okay, now I don't really remember how all this goes in there. I kind of do, but there's still a lot of little pieces and shit, so I gotta go look up how this all goes back together, and we'll get back to you. Yeah. Okay, now get after it. Uh-oh, that ain't supposed to happen. As far as that goes, C-clip. This goes on a reverse shift rail. There's another one that goes on the 1st and 2nd shift rail, and the 3rd and 4th shift rail as well. I don't believe the 5th gear shift rail has one of these. One of these. I do need my channel locks. Hold on. There we go. There's that one. I'm gonna move you guys a little bit so you can get a little closer in here, so you can see what I'm doing, kinda, maybe a little bit. These shift rails here come through this intermediate plate, but there's little plugs in between each one, and they're like funny shaped little things, and then there's little pins and balls and springs and all that sort of stuff. So now that you're a little closer, you might be able to see what I'm doing. This isn't a tutorial on how to, reassemble a AX15. I just want you guys to see a little bit, at least a little bit of what the heck I'm doing. So, yes, magnetic screwdriver helps a lot. Maybe not. Okay, put a little bit of assembly lube in there so that it fits or stays in there a little better. And go in there and with the other side, I'm gonna go and kind of just push it into its hole. Without spinning it. Oh, and have to go through the top there. There we go. Alright, that one's in there. Now, believe there's no more pins. I can put this 3 and 4 shift rail in there. Throw a little assembly lube on her, like so. Pretty sure that was it. Move that plug out the way. That should go in here. There we go. Okay. There's that one. Screw to hold the fork on. Okay. You even see what I'm doing here? Yeah, somewhat. And these other 2 clips go right here. Alright, now for these screws, you're gonna clean the threads and use a little bit of Loctite in there. Not a whole lot, but enough so they don't go bouncing around the inside of your transmission. That would be bad. There we go. Those are all good. Pop this clip on here. Voila. Viola. Alright. Now, okay. Now I'm installing the reverse, or the 5th gear shifter shaft here. Oh, there we go. Okay. There we go. The thing is in the wrong position there. Okay. Let's get this 5th gear shift rail in here. Okay. Okay, now detent balls that go in these holes, and then springs that follow, which I've already put the springs in. See, there's a spring. No magnet, no fit in the hole, but there's balls that hold these rails in place, and then these caps that go over them. And I'm going to use blue Loctite on these ones. Alright, then there's one more on the top. Right here, I don't know if you can see that. Another ball and spring going there. And there's one more somewhere else. I can't remember where it was. But okay, there's a little bracket that goes for this reverse shift arm. There we go. This will go there. Okay. There's that. Okay, let's put this top one in here. So here's the ball that goes in the hole. Spring in the hole. Cap. Where did my Loctite go? A little bit of blue Loctite in there. Okay, done mostly all I can do with this right now until I get the other key in the mail. Then I can finish up the 5th gear. But for right now, I guess I can replace the seals on some of these casings. This seal needs to be replaced. I got a bunch of other seals as well, so I'm gonna move this out of the way and get them seals up here so I can replace them. So. Alright, this seal just hammers out from the front. Just grab you a socket that fits in there. Just there she is. Old seal. I'm gonna clean this case up a bit and pound that new one in. Okay, that was quick. A little bit of brake clean. And yep. Looks good enough. So, I'll call her in there. Looks pretty good. Alright, on to the tail housing. Well, kind of tail housing, but I already got the old seal out. It wasn't too hard to do. This one goes in from the back. And just press it out with your fingers here. Yep. Oh, presto. If not, we're a couple smackies. And she's in. Yep, she's in good enough there. There's that. I think the other 2 seals that came in that kit are for the transfer case, which I'll probably get around to doing those later. But yeah, that's about all I can do for today until I get that synchro key for the 5th gear. And then once I do that, then I can put these 2 case halves together, put everything back together, and yeah, also I got the bell housing in. the new quick draw brand custom bell housing for an AX15 to LS swap. Came with throwout bearing, clutch fork, pilot bushing, and pivot ball. Also bought a Jeep TJ style slave cylinder, which is what this kit uses. And all the hardware, but yeah, this is a custom bell housing instead of an adapter to run the LS with the AX15. Quick draw bearing just makes a complete bell housing from scratch for this transmission to be able to bolt up to an LS style engine. So that's pretty cool. Don't have to mess around with adapter plates or nothing like that. You just bolt that bell housing on, get all the clutch stuff good to go, and then yeah, bolt her up to the engine. Alright, it came in. The piece that's been holding me up. Little synchro key for the 5th gear. Here's the part number. Not that you might need one, but got it from Quadratech. Yeah, showed up today, so I'm gonna throw that bad boy in there real quick, like. Get rid of these real quick. Alright, I'm gonna throw this 5th gear back together real quick. So this guy goes on here, like so. Boot. Get rid of that. Ooh, shiny. Okay, then these go in there like this, like that, like this. These little rings, acts like a spring to hold tension. Yeah, just like so. And this goes like that. Let's go this way. Goes in the hole. This goes over that. Ball locks it in place. Now the bearings go on. And now this can go in like that. Now assembly lube. Now I believe it fits nicely in there. Just give her a squeeze. And she's in. Okay, that's 5th gear in. Now, get the shift fork on there. Let's get that out of the way. And there she is. Then, a bit of the red Loctite. A lot of bit of the red Loctite. Oops. And in the hole she goes. That ain't going nowhere. So that's all back together. I have the bell housing here. My plan is to put this cover onto the bell housing, just kind of sitting there, and then lower this in after I put some silicone on there. Just lower it down and then put the rest of the transmission back together, just like that. So I'll come back when I get the silicone on there and we'll try it out. Okay, let's give her a shot. Hopefully this works, because there's a couple holes that the shafts need to go in. The shift rails and then the reverse side rear shaft needs to go in its own hole as well. So let's see if this thing works. Let's get it. Yeah. Boop. Skadooms. Okay. Here's that part. Now the tail housing. Some silicone on there. All right. Let's throw this tail housing on here. Okay. It's in. Now, we can throw some bolts in there. 2 long ones. Am I missing one? Oh, look. Okay. Let they cure overnight. Then we'll torque them down. We have a transmission. I still got to put the spring and ball in this little guy here. Put the shifter back on, whatnot. But yeah, that'll do that. What's going on? It's been a while. After that no sound incident, kind of was irritated and just kind of went ahead and almost finished this Jeep without filming anything, really. I mean, I've been doing little shorts here and there, but I've had a few projects in between, and yeah, it's actually been a couple months. That was back in July, I believe, was the last video. Maybe late July. It is now October 20th something. So lots of progress has been made, and it's almost complete. It just needs a few small things, like the speedometer is not working because the PCM for the Jeep supplies 8 volts for the vehicle speed sensor. And then, yeah, so that PCM is gone. So now there's no 8 volts to the vehicle speed sensor. So I've heard that I can run 12 volts to it. Like, it'll handle, max is 24 volts. But I don't know if I want to try that because I don't want to burn it up. But I can just get it was an LM7 808 voltage regulator, and that'll run 8 volts to it consistently, and then that should work. I need to get the coolant temp sensor or the coolant temp gauge working. I didn't realize that there was 2 different sensors on the Jeep 4-liter. There's one right by the thermostat that tells the PCM how hot the engine's getting, and then there's another one on the back side of the head on the driver's side that is a 1-wire one that actually sends the signal to the gauge. So when I adapted them, I bought the wrong one and connected the wrong one, which is not a huge deal. I can just get the right one and put an adapter and just plug it up where the other one is. So that'll work. I got the oil pressure gauge working. The RPM gauge is working. I do have to adjust it a little bit. There's potentiometers on the back of the thing, which is nice. Gives you a little bit of adjustment. yeah, let's go check it out. It looks really good, sounds really good. I got the exhaust done. I got new drive shafts for it. There's an aluminum radiator with an electric fan, and oh, it's great. We swapped to drive-by cable. The engine that I got was an 03, so it was drive-by-wire. We swapped to drive-by-cable, so I didn't have to mess with the throttle pedal or anything like that. And we did a standalone harness. Oh man, come check it out. Hold on, check it out. Let's go out front and check it out. Looks like the sun's out. Yeah! There she is. Fenders on. Do a quick little walk around. Doesn't really look any different. It's a cool looking Jeep though. But yeah, let's pop the hood open. This is kind of hard with one hand, so hold on. Hey. Voila. Hold on. There we go. So she's pretty much complete, you guys. We need to get a cold air intake or something. I'm thinking a snorkel would be cool, but I don't know. Anyways, oh yeah, she's still warm. I just was driving it a little bit. But okay, let's start at the front, move our way back. So we got this aluminum radiator. It's a 4-row, and it's made for LS swaps, but it's also made for the Jeep Wrangler YJ. So it just bolts up, no modifications. We deleted the AC system, so there's no AC condenser. This has an electric fan, which is controlled by the PCM, and I set it to where coolant temp gets to 200. This will pop on until it gets back down to like 195, then it'll turn off. But yeah, the heater hoses are connected and the heater works great. This got a flex hose on the bottom here, and then this top hose is for pretty much any Silverado from 99 to 07. And probably after that, I don't know. But yeah, I just had to cut it in the middle. I was gonna do a steam port adapter right there, but I ended up just drilling and tapping the top of the water pump for the steam port for the heads there. So we got this cable throttle body here. The mass airflow sensor is just kind of, it actually fits in there really good. There's nothing holding it in there but friction. So yeah, this standalone harness looks really nice on there. It's not a big jumble of wires. I opened up a vacuum port on here. These are usually closed off, but there's a little tab you can break off so that you can utilize this vacuum port. And this is for things like the stuff under the dash, and I believe the vacuum actuated stuff on the differentials. And yeah, fuel lines. Oh, we had to get an adapter. The 4-liter YJ power steering pump is the same. It's the same pump as the one that came with this engine. So same exact pump, but the one that came with the engine had a reservoir on it, but that wouldn't fit in there because of the steering shaft. So I just bought an adapter. I forget what brand it is, but I'll put a link and maybe a picture on this part of the video so that you can pick one up yourself. And then I just used the proportioning valve from the YJ, and then we just hooked everything up just like normal, and I didn't have to make new lines or anything. Everything worked out perfect there. Excuse me. This radiator cap, I might get a different one. This is a 1.3 bar, so it's 19 psi. That's a little bit high. This isn't a friggin' race truck, so I might lower it down. Just because I after a drive the other day, I felt this and it was almost rock hard, so I don't really like that. We need to get some overflow going to bleed off some pressure. Yeah, I might change that. What else have we done here? What else? So PCM is mounted back here where the old one was. This is the relay system and the fuse box for the PCM. This is going to be power for the vehicle speed sensor. There's a wire down here. But yeah, the harness, the 4-liter harness, I just stripped down. This is the coolant temp sensor for the gauge. I have the other one hooked up to an actual coolant temp sensor, but sorry, I'm jumping all over the place here. I'm just very excited. Oil pressure sensor. This is a stock YJ oil pressure sensor, adapted with a 1/8 inch NPT fitting to an M16 fitting that fits in the stock LS oil pressure sensor location. So that was pretty simple. We got oil pressure on the gauge there. But yeah, I stripped down the stock 4-liter harness and removed all the pins from the PCU connector, and these are just all the ones that we might need in the future, and some of the ones that we are using right now, like the check engine light, the tax signal from the PCM I got to work, and other things. Like if he wants to add cruise control later, there's wires for cruise control. There's wires for AC if he wants to add AC later, and they're all labeled and stuff for him so that he can do that, or he'll bring it to me and I'll do it. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the engine bay. The fuel lines are actually the stock YJ fuel lines. They connect right up. They're the same size as the LS fuel lines. Yeah, 5/16 and 3/8. And I just kind of flipped them. And because normally these come up, they go this way and come up to the 4-liter fuel rail, but I flipped them around and they go down now. They're hard lines, and there's a little flexible section, and they just connect right up to the stock hard lines underneath the Jeep. So that was convenient. The clutch master cylinder is still stock, but we adapted it. This came with an internal slave clutch setup, but we switched it over to an external, and I had to adapt that, but still the same clutch line, stuff like that. So we're saving money, you guys. We're saving money by reusing stuff. And yeah, that's pretty much it for the engine bay. Motor mounts are all welded up and nice and where they need to be. Let's go underneath and I'll show you what I've done underneath. So yeah. Okay, bell housing, and then the low pro oil pan. You can see it sits above where the axle is, so plenty of clearance. The stock truck oil pans come out to about here, and they sit just below the axle. So I didn't like that, so that's why we switched that. I had to get new O2 sensors. Let's see. Because the ones I had, or the harness that we have now and the PCM works with the case grounded type of O2 sensors. And these are the case grounded, but we had the isolated ground type, so I had to switch those out. No big deal. But yeah, this, I'm wondering what this was hitting here. There's a scratch in the new drive shaft already. I don't know why. Here's the slave cylinder setup. This, I don't really like how long it is, this adapter. So I might get a shorter one, or, you know, it works. But it's just a little bit too long so that I can't put that bolt back in the thing. Not a huge deal, but yeah, anyways. AC Delco oil filter. But yeah, this is the new drive shaft. Well, this is the modified drive shaft. This is the stock YJ shaft, but I just had it shortened a little bit so it would fit. And yeah, got new U-joints with it. I got both drive shaft modified and 4 new U-joints for about $510 from Driveline Express here in Longview, which was awesome because I didn't have to go far, and they were done in a few hours. So there's not a whole lot of room here. So exhaust. Yeah, exhaust. This is the downpipe here, and I basically just got a 2.5 inch exhaust kit. Man, there's not a lot of room here. Made my own Y pipe. This one, yeah, Y pipe here. I crossed over from the driver's side, right in front of the cross member, which it sits up far enough. I don't think it's going to be an issue. If it is, then we'll have to change it. But yes, I made this little Y pipe here out of just some 2.5 inch stock. Goes all the way through. So 2 into 1. Let's scoot back some more. 2 into 1 to like a cheap Amazon dual chamber muffler. And the only reason I have clamps on here is because it's a pain in the butt to get out. There's a clamp on that side and there's a clamp on here. So if he ever needs to take this exhaust off, he can just unclamp the 2 clamps and it will be super easy. So I added a hanger here for the stock YJ exhaust hanger, and then we went up over the axle and out the back, just right there, stock location. Kept it nice and simple for him. Yeah, it looks good. It sounds great. This muffler actually doesn't sound too bad, and it's quieter than I thought it would be, so that's cool. Okay, so now here's the rear drive shaft. I had to have it extended from about 13 inches to about 15 and a half, I think. Something like that, because this was only in the transmission about 1 inch, so not very safe to drive like that. So we got it fixed up perfectly. And there is a Driveline Express sticker there. Great, fast service. I like it a lot. And yeah, so here's the VSS that I'm trying to get working. If anyone has any info on this thing, on whether or not I can just run 12 volts to it, I think I can, but I'm not sure yet. I gotta do more research. But yeah, it's basically the last 2 things that need to be done. Let me get out of here. Hold on. And then we'll start it up for you. But yeah. Man, it is loud out here. That freeway is way too loud. Oh, I got to put the front bumper on and hook up the light bar and stuff like that. But, yeah, basically, the last 2 things that need to be done is that coolant temp sensor gauge and the speedometer. And I'm pretty sure that's literally it. So let's fire it up real quick. We got the shifters in there, good and nice. So yeah, all the gauges working. I gotta adjust the RPM gauge, but yeah, shifters work, and this thing runs great. It scoots with this 5.3 in here. I don't know if I don't think I've ever driven one of these with a 6-liter, but I've driven an XJ, the Cherokee, with a 6-liter, and they are nowhere near as quick as this thing. Granted, this thing's tiny, and now it has like 300 horsepower. So yeah, let's fire it up. Make sure we're in neutral. That buzzer is annoying. RPM working. Speedo's not working. His fuel gauge isn't working, which I could figure out too, but coolant temp's not working, but oil pressure works, voltage works, everything else works, the heater, all that stuff. So stripping that harness down didn't change really much. Let's get you a good sound of this exhaust here. It really sounds good. Okay, I wanna, yeah. And it's nice and quiet up here too. You can barely hear it. This thing's squeaking a little bit, which I gotta replace this tensioner. The tensioner part works, but it's making a squeak, so. annoying little squeak. Let me set you up here real quick. Yep. We're gonna have to change that now. Put a 5.3 liter badge on it. Yeah, that's the progress here, and that's pretty much it. I mean, it's pretty much done. I'm gonna say let's go for a drive. I don't think I have a mount for my GoPro though, so I might have to hold it. Well, I don't know. I'm gonna say yeah, let's take it for a drive. This thing's pretty much done, besides like 2 things, and yeah. Yep. So yeah, let's go for a drive real quick. All right, let's get into it. Okay. All right. Oop. That'd be a bad spot for that. I'll have the seatbelt on. Hold on. Right there. That's better. Maybe. Okay, anyways. Neutral. Key on. Cool. Cool. Hope you can hear that. Okay, let's go. I'll put you guys up a little bit. Okay. Pull the window down. And e-brake reverse. And my son's gonna be getting home from school here pretty soon, so we'll make this quick. Clutch is nice and smooth. Oh, that squeaking is very annoying. That exhaust sounds great though. It's not too loud in here. So what I was gonna do is just have an axle dump exhaust, have it dump right after that muffler, but there was just way too much drone inside here with that, so I didn't do that. And now there's 0 drone. That sounds great. So. Whoops. Let's slow it down there. This thing scoots. It really does. With the with the 5.3 in here, this thing is gnarly. Being as small as this thing is, it's pretty crazy. And I love it, and I kind of want one, but I would like a lifted one that's more like trail ready. This one's ready for the trails, but not like how I would drive it on trail. Oh, it sounds so good too. Oh, so many cars. Anyways, yeah, it drives great. It's a little bouncy for my my taste, but I like it. Let's turn this heater off because I'm boiling in here. Off. Okay. That's it. We're free. Sounds so good. I'm just gonna need to get rid of that squeaking noise. Oh, get out of my way. Out of the way. I'm in an LS swap Jeep. Get out of my way. Oh, hopefully you guys can hear it. Flip the U-turn here. Okay, back home. Oh, I love it. So much fun. Oh yeah, and it stays nice and cool. That radiator keeps it just very cool. Keeps it around 200, 190. When the fan kicks on, I mean, just sitting here with no fan, it won't get above 200 and 205, I think. So, which is great because it's not a huge radiator. And yeah, once the fan kicks on though, it'll stay at like 190, easily. So, anyways, that's that. Yeah. All right, you guys. So that's gonna do it for this video. The Jeep is pretty much done. I just got to put an 8-volt regulator on the VSS supply voltage wire, and then get the right sender for the coolant temp. But that's it. And then she's 100% done. I just drove it around and did some data logging. The fueling is great. It runs great. And yeah, so she's done. Thanks for watching. I appreciate you as always. If you guys want to support the channel, go check out my website. I'll put a link down below in the description, and you can check it out. We got shirts. You can go pick up a t-shirt. All I got is t-shirts right now. I don't have like these snazzy work shirts on there. Working on making some hoodies and maybe some hats. Like I got this hat here. But as of right now, I mean, we got parts too. I got a bunch of like LS swap radiators, cheap headers, cheap wiring harnesses. We got some engine building tools like micrometers and feeler gauges and dial bore gauges and stuff like that. We got let's see, I got intakes, we got throttle bodies, some cheap parts so you can save a little bit of money on your LS swap, and it helps me out as well to move towards my ultimate goal of getting a shop going so that we can provide essentially free repairs for people in need. So that's what I'm trying to do, and if you would like to help along with that process, I would really appreciate it. Yeah, I appreciate you guys watching. Go check out some shirts, or don't. It's up to you. But anyways, thanks for watching, you guys. Stay tuned for the next video. I have no idea what it's going to be about. Maybe how to strip down a stock truck harness and make a standalone for yourself. I think that's a video that's been due for some time now. So anyways, have a good one, you guys. If you're not subscribed yet, just hit that subscribe button. Costs you nothing, and it helps me out a lot too. So anyways, have a good one. Take it easy. LS swap everything.